Right. I noticed that it's Black Friday, not only when it comes to traffic, but it's also a day in which we see people crowding each other like honeybees around a field of flowers. But it comes to packages, of course, and delivery cars, full of delivery cars. But I want to take you to my childhood when there was and read some poems referring to something else, another package, a kind of buzzing package. Nothing warned us of its arrival. Drapes in the front room covering the table and chairs. A whole hive against the window. A black face swarming. It was looking for the queen. No one expected it would flare up. What was it that startled it, that it blew like a flag in the wind, settled down on a branch? It didn't let itself be fooled. The sun swung its lamp through the foliage. The face was looking for me, Father. The dance began in the tree. You opened the catch bag, cut the branch, and tried to catch the whole face in one go. You protected the queen. You waited till twilight. Tardy bees found their way to the bag. You took the face with you, gave it a home, and had the last word. The brood chamber took my breath away. Moss on the walls that thrived on damp. In the heart of the black face, I became your larva. I swilled with you, Mother, and you with me. I was nurtured on bee bread and jelly. Then I began to mold. I turned my head outward, pushed against my cell. The chamber was sealed with wax. You waited until I broke open. The house floated on honey, pollen and water. I remained ignorant, but I dealt with a worker. A drone, that's what I became. Vacant. I played with my organ, gnawed the walls of the room open. The queen's cell stayed sealed. I saw you behind the shower curtain of wax. I didn't hoard my pollen. So I grew up, eager eyes, wings made of skin. I knew I too would have to search for honey. We flew off, humming on our motorbikes. The tracks we left behind us were shallow. We took pleasure in vanishing in the dust. We hurtled into the bend on our rear wheels, skidding through chippings and ashes to impress them. Unruffled pools reflected their faces. They had us in our clothes, pretended not to notice. We stood, sinking around them, had our first beer, but would rather have drunk their eyes. On our jackets, the ash we couldn't wipe off. On the horizon, the black face grew. The plowed earth darkened to form a grave. We had a huge visor, helmets full of anoxia. Then we went and lay in the grass and took off our hats. And the last one. And so I lost my head, Father. I retrieved it in the ashes. Was it you who had pollinated me? Had you already tasted death when you begot me? The unfertile flight of the drone who saw the queen above her. I sucked my lungs full. I grasped and was grasped. Smoke curled around me to swallow me up. Had I choked on myself? Did I almost suffocate when I emerged from myself again? In the fields I was reborn. I spoke and could walk but later. I kept my mouth shut and starved out my words. Between my legs something was growing. I looked for my mirror image, loved it more than myself. When I touched my cheek, the same thing happened in the mirror. Now the lens I had thrown down in the grassy verge reflected me. Now I no longer see how I looked as a child, how, as a human, I pupated as drone.